Morning. Well, it's morning for us. I don't know what it is for you guys when you're listening. Welcome back to our podcast where we're still fine tuning the name. Welcome to episode 4.
Nameless.
I'm getting ready for vacation. Dal's on vacation.
Yes.
So please excuse. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to ask for the excuse. This is us. This is real life, guys. Okay. We show up as is. We will
Ball of
probably
mess.
ever rarely show up. We will probably ever rarely show up glammed up because ain't nobody got time for that. The only reason why I look glam is because I use the Flutter Habit lashes, and that's it. That helps me get
Oh,
through.
gotta try that. Gosh. Um,
Oh, there's a super learning curve to that because I was never the type to be able to wear the
yeah.
falsies that like go over your lashes. I would struggle for forever on
Okay.
those. So it took me a while. I was spending a ton of money on eyelash extensions. And after I started doing the math of how much I spent for 2 years, even with my homie hookup, I was like, oh dear Lord, like I need to find an alternative. And so I forced myself to learn how to use these Flutter Habits. And they're just the little like
hmm
mini strips that go underneath your eyelashes. It's just, like I said, it's just a bit of a learning curve. It took me at the beginning, like 30, 45 minutes to do it. Now I'm done in like
Oh,
10.
awesome.
So, but then I've been doing it for quite some time now. So
Talented. I know, we gotta save money where we can.
there's that.
Seriously. Thinking of getting,
Girl, that's real
right? Like,
life.
I'm thinking of getting magnetic, those, sorry, magnetic. I think there are those press-on nails. Apparently they're good. So I like to have my nails done, but
Oh,
it's expensive.
yeah,
Like,
it is.
so we'll see.
Oh yeah, my 11-year-old's asking about when she can start getting her nails done, and I'm like, girl, when you can afford it
hmm
on a normal basis. I said, because that is a want and not a
hmm
need. Sorry, not sorry. But Nana said you used to get your nails done. Yeah, because it used to cost about $60 for a full set and pedicure. Now it costs about 120, 150. So I ain't got flow like that. Sorry.
And oh my God, these youngins getting those long ass nails. And I'm just like, how do you clean your butt?
That part that I cannot stand with the clicking. I was having this conversation with my husband because I get patients where I'm like, okay, we're doing this on you. You got to take off your necklace. They're like, I can't. And I'm like, well, how do you wipe your butt? I'm like, actually, I was like, never mind. Don't touch anything. Just go sanitize first and don't touch anything still after that because I don't know what is underneath them. Like, sorry if you're listening and you're one of those people, but I don't know. I'm all about like if you
Oh,
want it, cool, but like I don't understand the excessive
yeah,
length
yeah.
where like people just like to sit there and
You
click.
know, you you old when you question in the little ones about how long their nails.
We're so grumpy right now. We're so grumpy and old. Our age is showing. The Perry is showing. The rage is showing. Sorry, y'all.
Oh.
Anywho, let's segue to the
Oh,
actual
today,
topic now that we ranted for a
yes,
little bit.
today is so exciting. We are going to give you the answer, like the magic pill, the thing that is gonna help you lose the weight like tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna give you the plot twist. You guys have been waiting for the plot twist. Aram posted like y'all are waiting
Oh,
for the plot twist. We're gonna give you the plot twist.
sorry. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Here it
So
is.
we're gonna talk about because I actually had some people asking me quite a few times, what are the boring basics? Because you and I both very heavily
hmm
talk about that. And honestly, it's the stuff that you do day in and day out, the not sexy stuff, but it's the stuff that you show up and consistently do on a normal
Yeah.
basis.
Yeah. That's really what it comes down to. It, like you said, it doesn't sound sexy. Yes, it's boring, it's monotonous, it's
Mhm.
tedious, all of the above, but it's all about the things that you see there. Like we're always putting it out there, managing your stress, prioritizing your sleep,
Mhm.
your water intake, minimizing or eliminating alcohol, prioritizing protein and fiber, strength training and movement. I think that sums it up, hey? Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah, pretty much. And honestly, this is for everybody because everybody needs to do it, but especially, and I'm going to speak on this, the perimenopause community. If you haven't started mastering the basics, fucking perimenopause and menopause is going to be shitty
Mhm.
for you. So if you want to make it less shitty, you might want to start trying to learn how to adopt these principles at some level of consistency for you to help alleviate some of those things. Because I'm telling you right now, off my own personal experience, Perry's trying me right
Mm,
now. She's trying me hard, and I'm getting a little annoyed,
yeah.
but it's still manageable and it's still tolerable. But I can't imagine how bad it would be if I was still living the same lifestyle I was living 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Jeez, I couldn't, yeah, I can't imagine, really. Like, I was, okay, so being that overweight and, we talked about this, I think the last episode, or maybe we didn't, but like not being able to sleep just because of joint pain, back pain, hip pain, like, and, I thought it was my mattress or my feet, with the plantar fasciitis or the acid reflux, whatever, all of these things. I can't imagine if I had to deal with that and perimenopause and menopause symptoms. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I, yeah, I am obviously grateful where I am, but it really does. It makes things harder to begin with, right? Like, it's going to make
Yes.
everything harder.
Just living life in general.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, I don't know, like how do we, we can't convince anyone to do it. We can't convince you that that's what it is. It doesn't seem like it. It's, a part of it I feel, and I'm sure you've seen it too with your clients and stuff. It's that wanting that result tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
right?
They wanted it
Yeah,
yesterday.
wanting that result like now. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. And especially I find if you've been a chronic yo-yo dieter or, you've been through the extremes all your life and you haven't learned any of these basics, probably one of the reasons I know because of the diet culture that we were exposed to, just
Mm-hmm.
didn't know any better. But if you're listening to this, that means that you've already taken that step and you're interested. So even if you haven't started, right? And so, yeah,
Correct.
and yeah, I don't know. I'm like, you can't convince anyone. So I know that for sure. It doesn't sound like it's going to work, but I mean, you and I are living proof that it does. The people that we work
Correct.
with, the entire industry, all of our clients, other clients, that's what it really comes down to. So how do we expand on this? Because really, it is as simple as that. Not easy, but as simple as that.
It is very simple, but I think because people, and we've touched on this before, have almost PTSD because of all
Yeah,
the diet culture stuff that they fell into. They're hesitant to want to try something new because they're like, "Well, what do you mean I have to do it for forever?" Yes, you have to do it for forever because living this lifestyle, having a somewhat healthy lifestyle, should be one of your priorities, not just for aesthetics, but just like you said, for quality of life. I mean, as we age, are we going to have joint pain when we wake up? Yes. But let's not have the joint pain because we're overweight. Let's not have the acid reflux because we're overweight. Like, it's all about controlling the
yeah,
variables that we can control. And that's what essentially mastering the basics is. And one of the things that you can control is your nutrition. I mean, granted, now aside from people who have eating disorders and other things, this doesn't pertain to you. That's something that you need to address with a professional. But if you are just a general lay person trying to figure out where to start, your nutrition is a great
yeah,
place to start. And I'm not talking about eating clean and eating healthy, okay? Like, there, we don't need to label it. It's literally just eating the nutritional needs that you need for you to be able to fuel your body and to be able to live life. And then we'll address your specific goals once you are
yeah,
able to adopt those habits. Because it's not like me as a coach and you as a coach. Of course, everybody comes to us and they want some kind of either aesthetic change or fat loss, is probably
yeah,
typically what it is. Your fat loss will come, but let's not make the fat loss process harder by not already having this foundation underneath
right.
you. And when we say nutrition, nutrition is not just chicken, rice, and
Yeah,
broccoli. It doesn't have to be like that. And Dal is
yeah,
a great example because she still eats her traditional foods.
you do
I
too.
still will time to time. I just don't like to drive really far to the Asian supermarket
Right.
to get the food to make it, or the ingredients to make it, which is why I don't typically do it. But I will from time to time because we understand the basic knowledge of nutrition and how we can make it work for us and how we can, I guess, like trim things down from here and there. Like you on your
Right.
stories have been amazing with being at home and on vacation and eating your traditional foods. You had a conversation with me where you're like, you told your
Yeah.
mom to have the ground chicken on hand all
Yeah.
the time, because you know where you're at. The Indian culture is very low on protein, and so is the Filipino culture, but that's because of financial
Right.
reasons. Meat is expensive in the Philippines, so to find dishes full of protein is very hard as well. Um, but it's just about knowing and understanding that. I think if you're meeting your nutritional needs, and I'm talking like we need to up your
Right.
protein, ladies. Okay. If you're still under consuming protein, and this is such a generalization and I hate to do it, but let's just, for example, if you're eating under 100 grams of protein and you're a normal sized human being, maybe start there.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
start you let's start you at trying to aim for 100 grams. Now, if that's unreasonable because you're only doing about 40 grams a day, then let's start upping you 20 grams
Or
every
even
week or every
10.
2 weeks.
Like I
And,
will start
or even
10, 10, 50, then at some point 60, and then 70, and let's get you to
mm-hmm,
100. Like even if you get to 100, because
mm-hmm.
that is actually very difficult for a lot of women.
For some
It
people,
is. Women,
yes,
yeah,
it
for some
is.
people as well, right? I mean, obviously, as a male, you need, more calories, which means more protein. And so protein supplementation with powders is very popular. And, I don't actually supplement with protein powder at all. I'm able to get my protein through my nutrition. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't prefer it. So I just find other ways. Um, but yeah, there's lots of ways. We're not saying you have to do it right away. So I think I put this on my stories. It's like if you haven't lived at maintenance, if you haven't learned or worked with a coach about nutrition, about calories, you probably don't know the importance of the role that protein and fiber play in our diet, right? In our daily
Mm-hmm.
lives and everything. Uh, and we'll get there like you, like we'll start you slow and we'll get there. All of this doesn't have to be done all at once, and it doesn't all have to be done all of the time either, right? Like we don't.
I think, yeah. And I think it's incredible to have people see the switch flip because I've had several clients where we just focused
Yeah.
on nutrition and not even doing anything crazy with their numbers, just teaching them how to track and weigh and measure properly and accurately, or as accurately as they could because of
Yep.
human error is huge. um, B, just focusing on protein and hitting whatever calories they've been eating on a consistent basis, and just by them increasing their protein, their bodies were really changing. How they felt was
Hmm.
changing. They felt different, they felt better, they felt like they were able to, just live their daily life a little bit better. And I've even had a handful of clients where just by doing that and now getting a majority of their calories from protein versus just carbs
Hmm.
and fats, they lost about 10
Yeah.
pounds.
And
Not on purpose, just
yeah, and
because.
there are reasons like the thermic effect of food, and you know but we're not going to get into that.
Food
Food
quality.
quality, yes, whole foods, and
Mm-hmm.
how much
Mm-hmm.
our body takes to digest and absorb those nutrients, and versus processed or highly palatable foods. um and
Mm-hmm.
so without getting, because we don't want to make this podcast about like specific things, but overall, as far as nutrition is concerned, that's the boring basic part of nutrition. If we can just focus
Mm-hmm.
on whole foods most of the time. I love the 80/20 guideline. I think you do too. We both live
Mm-hmm.
by that because we love our
Yes.
desserts. Yeah.
Girl, I'm about to go hard this week because there's a pastry place in San Diego. I was like, they have fruit
Oh,
tartlets, they have cheese. Oh, girl, just keep an eye on
okay.
my
I
stories because
I
I'm gonna
can't wait.
be.
I love to look at that stuff. I'm so weird when I'm in a fat loss phase. Like I watch everything food. Like what is that? Like the food channel, the baking shows, the food reels. I don't know, it's twisted.
Oh my God, talk about you're an absolute, what is it, a sadist? You're
Oh my God.
totally just setting yourself up
I
that way.
know.
That's
I know. I don't watch them
hilarious.
otherwise, but when I'm in a fat loss phase, I do. But yeah, no. So yeah, the 80/20,
80/20 is the way to
everything.
go because I think that that's a huge, huge thing that people don't understand. Like, this doesn't have to be rigid or restrictive. Now, do you have to have some kind of semblance of some kind of like organization and some kind of like, I guess, plan or structure? Yes. And that's what you need. Everybody needs
Yeah.
structure. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if there's anybody out there who is like, yeah, I don't need structure. F that. Okay, stop. You need some kind of structure around your
Yeah.
nutrition, but you also need to have some fun because that's what it's about. This is about your flexible living, learning how to adopt these principles by still, but yet still living the lifestyle that you want to live. And part of that though too is, I mean, I made a post about this, is we've gotten so far away from um, utilizing easy access things, and I'm all for easy access things, so don't get me wrong, because this coming week I'm going to have to get easily accessible proteins because we're going to be coming home on a Saturday versus a
Hmm.
Friday. So I'm still going to have to like meal prep and ingredient prep for the week, the following week. But I think that people are just so used to now hitting the drive through. Now, are there better choices? Yes, there are. But I think that we've gotten so far away from making our meals at home because it takes longer. People don't want to have to think about it. They don't want to have to deal with it. But honestly, you not dealing with it now is you're going to have to deal with the repercussions of always eating
Yeah.
out later. I mean, I'm all about eating out, trust and believe, but on that 80-20
Love.
rule,
Yeah.
because let's be honest, I can't stand eating out
No,
100% of the
no.
time. Like it sounds good at first when you're on vacation, then you're like, I'm sick
Oh
of
yeah,
this. Like,
after a few
get me
days.
back to my normal eating
Dude,
pattern for
that's like
real.
Indian weddings. Like I have a wedding coming up this week. And I remember when I was here last year for a wedding. Again, I'm always here for weddings. But I was looking so forward to the food. Hadn't been to a wedding in years, wanted to really immerse myself, you know. And yeah, the first couple of meals were great. And then after that, it was just like, ugh, same kind of similar foods, really oily, fattening. You can just feel it,
Hmm.
right? And like, and
Yeah.
because I know they're so calorically dense, like I was having smaller portions. And unfortunately, it doesn't keep,
Still
you're still
hungry.
hungry, but you got to keep that in check, right? And so, uh, so it's, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me my cheeseburger, man. Like, I don't care what anybody says. McDonald's cheeseburgers are on point. So, once in a while, yes. Do they keep you full? No. That's why we don't want to get into that habit. You're just going to be eating out a lot. And I'm sure, if you're listening to this, you've been in that situation. And again, until you master the basics, master meal prepping, ingredient prepping, finding a system that works for you, which takes time. By the way, this all takes time.
Hmm.
So we have to be patient with ourselves, give ourselves some grace. Then and only then, when you're on the other side, do you see all of this and experience it for yourself, right? Because prior to me starting this journey, I was eating out all the time, like thousands of calories. I did not get to 260 because I don't know, I was eating like lettuce and 1500 calories. Like,
You weren't eating
yeah,
broccoli, rice,
broccoli,
and
rice, and
chicken
chicken. I
all the
was eating
time.
broccoli, rice, and chicken, but it was doused with cheese and sauce and mayo.
There you go. It was all the added things. You're like, but it's healthy. I have the broccoli.
Girl,
What else do you got on it? How much butter is
I
on
never
that?
approached anything with the mindset of, but it's healthy. It was just like eat and drink, right?
Oh my
So, yeah,
goodness.
so it'll come with time. Yeah, as far as nutrition is concerned, it comes with time. You just have to allow that and give yourself that space, right, to learn and be open.
Right.
So, yeah, so that's,
Right. So, my people,
yeah, go ahead.
if you want to start with your nutrition, first thing, hop on Amazon, get you a scale. Okay. It's not disordered. They're about 15 bucks or less on Amazon. Learn how to track your food, learn how to weigh and measure your food. Also, consider starting to make a majority of your meals at home because you can control what's going into your
Yeah.
food. You can control the oil, the butters, the sauces, and all the things. It doesn't have to be bland. No, we're not over here eating bland things. The spice
Hmm.
aisle at Sam's Club and Costco or your big box stores are banging. I personally like to get like my chicken. I'm a chicken thigh person. I will utilize chicken breast in a fat loss phase, but I prefer chicken thighs. I will literally just marinate my chicken in lemon juice and throw some dry rub over there,
Mm.
let it sit for 45 minutes to an hour in the fridge, and then throw it on my Blackstone. Your nutrition doesn't have to be hard. It can be simple, but it can also still be tasty. So that would be a great way to start. Start focusing on your protein, identify how much you're eating on a normal basis, because if you're currently maintaining and not gaining, that would be your maintenance
Yeah.
calories, and then start there. That's it.
Yeah, perfect. Practical tip. And you know what I always recommend too, depending on where you're at, because maybe using the scale might feel like overwhelming. So let's start with some measuring cups and measuring spoon. That's still better than eyeballing and just using random cutlery, right? So even, yeah, I
True.
have a client that just honestly is just using measuring cups versus she's Filipina too, so eating a lot of rice, right? Loves her rice for breakfast. Yeah. So,
She's eating corned beef, fried egg, and
yes,
rice
yes,
every morning for
yes, yes, yes,
breakfast.
yes. That's what she was eating. And she's still, I'm like, you can still eat that. Let's just use a measuring cup. It's okay. This is the whole thing. You can eat your culturally specific foods. Let's just start with measuring cups. And
Right.
even that, and it's been four
Mm-hmm.
weeks, and she's like, oh, Dad, like I'm seeing the scale go down. But she's just been tracking just for awareness. She's been eating everything that
Yep.
she was eating before. And the measuring cups have helped. And eventually we'll transition into, using the scale. So start where you're at, whether
Mm-hmm.
that's a scale or measuring cups. It's much better than just using a big ass ladling spoon to, you know, pour
Right.
your food
Or
or
eyeballing.
eyeballing, right? So,
That's actually a great point that you just highlighted, and I hope everybody heard that. Is you're starting her with measuring cups, and then you will eventually
yep,
transition her into tracking because it'll be more specific, but that you're starting her within the parameters that she can handle right
yep,
now. So again, start with what you can handle. So if it's just a matter of you making sure your plate looks like it has more protein versus carbs and whatever else, start there. Start with whatever you think you can handle that won't overwhelm you. And that's the most important part, because a lot of people try to take on too much too fast, and then now they're overwhelmed and now they want to
right,
give up. And that's why a lot of you can't get past a month, 2 months, because you're like, this is too
right.
hard. It is going to be hard, a little hard, but you have to just dig your heels in and just understand that there's a bigger purpose to this.
Yep. Well said.
So the next thing would probably be, I would say, is your activity level, which is like your steps. Stop being so sedentary. Uh, I don't know if you feel called out, but if you are only doing about 2,000 steps on a daily basis, that is straight diabolical.
Yeah,
Um,
it is. It really is. No, seriously.
that is the worst thing for you. Honestly, like, yes, your exercise matters, but everything else that you do within your day matters more because it takes up a majority of your day. I am on my feet a majority of the day because I'm also an x-ray tech. So my steps are pretty decent. Now I understand for you, Dal, you're mainly stay at home. So you have to be very intentional
Hmm.
with that. But set a goal for yourself. If right now you're only averaging 2,000, shoot for five. If that seems too much, shoot for three or four, but try to eventually get yourself up to a higher number. Now, is there a magic number? No, but for me, I like to have people between 7 and 8. I think that that's a decent
For
number.
sure.
So if right now your steps are low, start parking further away from the supermarkets or wherever you're going. Take little walking snacks. You're really great about posting that on your stories right now. I wanted to see, I did an experiment. I wanted to see how long would it take me to get 10,000 steps walking at a moderate pace. I'm sorry, 1,000 steps walking at a moderate pace, less than 10 minutes. I think at 3.0 on my walking pad. So you're telling me that you can't take 10 minutes out of your day 6 times
Yeah.
to just pace back and forth, walk on a walking pad, go outside.
Yeah. So the measure of this is what I tell many people, my clients, is that listen, you don't have to have a watch or something to, gauge how many steps you're going. Obviously, that's just to quantify how sedentary we are, in this culture, in this society, right? It's not a crutch. I don't use it as like, oh my God, if I don't have it on, I didn't move. But I love it. I want it. I'm always going to have it. I'm always aiming for, you know, movement, because movement is life for me now. However, so 10 minutes, just look at it like you said, 10 minutes, 1,000 steps, whether that's biking, walking, any type of activity, where you're moving, elliptical, just in your head, if you know you've done 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, that's 4,000 steps right there. The other thing is, and I agree with you, like if you're around two, three, you can go up to five. But if that seems too much, go up 500 steps a week, whatever, right? Like just again,
Mm-hmm.
do what works for you within the parameters of your life. The goal is to always continue to be moving forward. And that's whatever that means to you, whether that's movement, nutrition, tracking, all of that strength training. And this is my personal like experience, Carmi, something I talk about, and like I always love to share stories. So I started at 3,000 steps probably, and that was strictly what I was doing within the home, taking care of my kids. And then when I lost about 50 pounds, physically I could finally feel like I could move, right? And that's when I started walking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it took me 3.5 years to go from 3,000 steps to, usually my non-negotiable is 12 to 15. Right? I'm doing way more right now just because I'm out and about. It's all intention. I'm also trying to offset, a little bit more drinking and eating out. So I'll admit it. And I have been, and I'm going to talk about this. I think it'll be a great topic of conversation, high flux, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, okay, what was I saying? Oh, the story I was going to tell you. Ah, fuck. Ooh, I forgot now.
The brain
The
fog. The
brain
brain fog.
fog. See, it was movement. Oh, here it is. Right. So, this is something that I used to do. Well, one, when I didn't, when I was looking at social media and I would see things like move more, you need to do this. It's like, the new sitting is like being said, like smoking, whatever. I would just scroll past that
Right.
stuff because I didn't want to hear it, see it, read it, because I didn't want to acknowledge it. It would mean that I would have to like look in the mirror and, face what I was avoiding.
Take
Right.
accountability.
And so then when I did start seeing it, I was like, oh shit, okay, okay. But even still, there was resistance, right? Like there's a little bit of resistance. And what I've seen, with my clients, and I know with myself, it's not until you put yourself in that situation, actually do the thing, right? That all of us are
Mm-hmm.
suggesting, that you actually start seeing what we're talking about, the results. And so even us saying, so you had made a recommendation like, hey, park far away. So like Chris Little, he has this park far away club hashtag, right? I do that now. I park super far away. I take the stairs. We are part of the two percenters that take the stairs when there's an escalator available. Everyone is taking the escalator, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
or things like, I don't know, what other tips do we give? Oh, like I walk on the walking pad on calls, on coaching calls. Obviously on this podcast, I'm not, but whenever I can find a moment to move, I move. Just movement
Mm-hmm.
snacks, like you mentioned, that's another great example. So lots of examples of how you can get steps between, if you're working, sitting, take more bathroom breaks. But that doesn't happen like tomorrow. You are not going to do those things tomorrow. So right now, if you just focus on increasing those steps, even just in one given time frame, I think that's fine. Like that's what might work for you right now. And slowly over time, as you move through the process, as it starts becoming and forming, your new identity, you will see that those are the things that you want to do. And you will find ways to
Mm-hmm.
do those things. But for the longest time, I still wasn't doing that because I never parked far away. I would spend 10 minutes looking for the closest parking spot, girl. Like, right?
You are that person that would circle the thing. You're that person I look at crazy. Like, why are you
Yes.
just sitting there in
I
the
would take the
aisle?
elevator. I would send my kids upstairs. Hey, go get that for me. Like, when my oldest was younger. But all these things,
Mm-hmm.
it's changed now because I've changed. My identity's changed. Like you, both of us, our friends, we consider movement life. We know the benefits, right? The health
Mm-hmm.
benefits, the the mental benefits, just everything. And so,
Yes.
yes, it might sound ridiculous to you listening to this, like to do these little things, but trust us when we say you will get there. It will become a part of you.
It's those little things that will move the needle forward
Yeah.
for you.
But you have,
I mean, honestly, we were laughing about steps. I think like maybe a month or so ago, because I don't know how we got on the topic of it, but I was telling you how my husband looked at me wide-eyed and crazy because I was bringing our 4 trash cans
yes,
back, and instead of doing two at a
yes,
time, I did one at a time. And he's like, "Why are you doing that? You can't do two at a time. You can't handle." I said, "I can absolutely handle two at a time, but it's going to take me more steps to go back and forth 4 times versus 2 times. It was a light day at work, so I want to go ahead and do this." And he's like, "Okay, whatever floats your boat, babe."
yeah. And it's like,
But it's because it's something that's intentional for me. And you were even telling me like, "Oh yeah, now I, instead of
yeah,
carrying a whole bunch of laundry baskets, I go back one at a
yeah,
time for the same exact reason."
I grab one pile at a time, go put it away, walk all the way back, get the other one, and I can clock in like 800 steps. It's crazy. Well, I also have like,
But that's a great example for our
yeah,
listeners. Like, if you're wondering, how can I even do that? Approach it that way. Take the long way to your bathroom if you have a long way to your
bathroom.
bathroom. Like, if I really wanted to, from my kitchen, I can go through the living room, through our guest bathroom, through the girls' bathroom, because I got a Jack and Jill, and come around through the hallway to finally get to my bedroom if I really wanted to, if it was something that I'm trying to be intentional about. So it's just about you figuring out how you can go about it. Don't overwhelm yourself with like, "Oh my God, okay, so that means I got to go outside." No, you don't. Just start walking around your
Yep.
house. Go vacuum your house. If it doesn't need to be vacuumed, vacuum it
Girl,
anyways.
yeah.
Get some steps
Yeah,
in.
I do that every day. Oh, I have white tiles, so I gotta
Oh.
vacuum every day. I mean, I don't have to, but I do. And again, it's just to keep, that's always, I don't know, it's just always at the back of my mind now is just movement where you can, right? I was gonna get up this morning, like I was telling you before we hit record here. I was lying in bed with my kids and we're in a king bed at my parents' house. And I was up at 6. I could have gotten up and went for a walk, and I wanted to, but I know if they kind of sense me, the little one senses that I've left, they might wake up, and I want them to sleep in. So I just laid in bed and scrolled and posted until about 7:15, got up hoping that they would sleep in later, but that would be enough
Hmm.
sufficient time, right? So in my head, that's
Yeah.
what I wanted to do, but unfortunately I couldn't, right? So I'll figure out a way later. But again, just always thinking about it. So
Hmm.
intention. It's all
Yeah.
intention. It's hard. It's not easy.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not easy.
No. So that pretty much wraps up that
Yeah.
one. What would be the next one that you think is
You know
important?
what? think I think for all of this to actually be a success, it's not obviously it's not possible for everyone, just given their circumstances, especially new moms, just parents in general, and shift work. Who knows, right? Different circumstances, but sleep. Without
Hmm.
sleep, that affects
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
Affects your recovery, from strength training, um, just what increases your hunger hormone, if you're not sleeping enough. And now
Hmm.
you are wanting to eat, so that can affect your nutrition. So, really prioritizing sleep somehow.
Yeah. It affects everything, all of your choices, and how you navigate real life. I know that when we were younger, we would basically flex how we were like team no sleep.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that was a thing. Like, I can't believe that's still a thing. Like, okay, so like you said, you've got a newborn baby. So you don't get a full night's sleep, because I know what
Mhm.
that's like you know what that's like being up every 2 hours. Um, I used to still get woken up. I think this is like my second year now where I get like a full night's
Mm.
rest without being interrupted by a child, unless there's like something wild and crazy going on. Because the baby would wet her
Yeah.
bed because we were trying to potty train her at night. So I'd have to get up at 3, 4 in the morning and change sheets. And that was a wreck, but it is what it is. So you just do what you can. Like, for me right now, perimenopause is, like I said, it's making me feel funny. And so I had a discussion with a Rom about that, where like I know it's something going on. Like, I know I'm dipping somewhere in some of my hormones, and I can't get into my doctor until September, the specialist. So right now it's me trying to manage what I can manage on my own. And one of those things is sleep, because I normally get up, my alarm goes off about 5:15, and like I kind of sit there for a minute, but then lately I'm like hitting the alarm snooze. And I don't know if it's also because I have no sense of urgency because the kids don't have school
Yeah.
right now. And so I have a little bit extra time. But I've noticed that like my sleep is a little
Mm,
weird lately. I don't think that I'm like fussing in the middle of the night. I know I'm not waking up to go to the bathroom, but something's going on with my sleep. So I've made it a point to try to be in bed by like 8:30, 8:45, 9 o'clock, not sleeping, just in bed
right.
decompressing. And then finally lights out like 9:30, 10ish. And it's helped a little bit. So I think that you guys take for granted the magic of sleep. Because just like you said, if you're making shitty food choices, take a look at your sleep
Yeah.
habits. Because, like you said, lack of sleep will make your ghrelin hormone off the
Yeah.
charts. And if you guys don't know what that is, that's the hormone or the
The hunger.
um, the
Yeah.
signal in your body that's telling you you're hungry, but you're not hungry, and that's what's making you probably grab for things that you shouldn't be grabbing for, or maybe don't need to be grabbing for in that moment. But because those cues are telling you to, you're doing it.
Right. Right. There's again, just to give you a little bit of an example of kind of what I was going through, when I started, I was going through what kind of like the most extreme stress I've gone through all my life, everything all at once. Lack of sleep for sure, with two young ones, postpartum, in the middle of COVID, um, all of that, the unhealthy relationship with food, uh, drinking a lot of booze, all of it, so much. And I
Mm-hmm.
still managed to do it. Not saying that it wasn't hard, because it is. So even with lack of sleep for the first year of my journey, I just did what I could. I continued. It was consistency, just sticking with it and doing it. And so, in spite of those things, sure, I was hungry some days, but I just kept pushing forward. And so it's not to say that it's not impossible. Like, even if those things come up, things are happening, it's still very doable. Again, we're just going to circle back to intention, right? The
Mm-hmm.
intention, like
Yeah.
where if you understand this and you also give yourself, again, like some self-compassion as far as, hey, maybe you only slept 2 hours that night. That's okay. No one's saying like you have to go,
Mm-hmm.
run a marathon, right? Like, just
Right.
do what you can that day, but really it's just what you do most of the time when it comes to all of this, mastering the basics. It's, what you do most of the time matters more than what you do some of the time. And I really, right? Like, we,
Correct.
we really do. We talk
Yeah.
about this. That's it. And if you can do that and just be
Mm-hmm.
consistent with those, implementing those habits and just figuring out some semblance of a routine for yourself, structure,
Mm-hmm.
like we were saying, whatever that means for
Mm-hmm.
you. Again, like the definition of all of this stuff is so, I think, subjective. Like, it's not what's ideal and optimal. Yes, those things, all of us would love, but that's just not real life.
Mm-mm. No, because that's so specific, and right now it's just about getting people bought into the process and just doing the things at some
Yeah,
level of consistency. So it's like we don't need to go there right now. Let's do what works for you. And with that being said, manage your expectations around
right.
that. If you're a new mom with a baby that's waking you up, understand that if you want to take on this process, you're probably going to want to pick and choose what's important to you in this moment, because you trying to get your pre-baby body back is probably not a good choice for you in this moment. Granted, if you're already living this lifestyle pre your baby, that's a different
Yeah.
story. But if you're trying to dive into this right now to snap, to quote unquote snap back, which I fucking
Mm,
hate, and I'm going to curse because I hate that, because you know what? That got me all the way messed up
mm-hmm.
after my babies, thinking I was supposed to live up to some expectation. If you're trying to deep dive into this right now, all in, Post baby, don't do that. Maybe focus on your nutrition, but your nutrition to fuel you and to fuel baby. Because if you're
Yeah.
breastfeeding, you don't need to be in a caloric deficit. You just need to be fueling.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, you're probably forgetting to eat because you're so tired. So just fuel and get whatever sleep you can. Make it work for you. And that's all you need to do. And as in regards to the sleep, because it goes hand in hand with the
Yeah.
stress, you need to audit what you're doing on a daily basis. Okay. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not going to be over here like on my high horse or, on my soapbox saying like, there's so much time. I'm going to audit your time. Yes, we need to audit your time. But here's the thing, if you're doom scrolling at 8 o'clock at night in your bed and you're not going to bed till midnight, that might be where there's an issue. I'm not saying don't doom scroll. Doom scroll for about an
Yeah.
hour and then call it a day. So,
We
because
all,
I'm not an all or nothing type of person. If doom scrolling makes you feel good, or if you're over there just looking at crazy ass things on Instagram that make you laugh, cool, do that, but maybe don't do it for 4 hours,
girl, I doom scroll.
and then go get some
If you
sleep.
see posting at
Yes.
midnight, 1 a.m. memes, that's what I'm doing.
I've never
I
noticed
do.
that. No, I've
Oh
never
yeah.
noticed that. I notice my husband because I'll be like, oh, he's sending me some stuff at 3 a.m. What you doing? I look at him crazy when he walks in the door, like, why are we doom scrolling at 3 o'clock in the morning? I couldn't sleep. Maybe don't get on back on your phone. Go to the bathroom and take your ass back to bed, lay
Yeah,
down.
read a book. Yeah, no, hey, listen, this is just it though. Like, we're not sitting here. Like, you and I didn't just get here. What we're discussing basically is something that, not basically, is everything that we've done. And we're also not the type, again, we'll talk about this in a future podcast. We get our drink on. We do. Uh, but
Hmm.
occasionally, okay, for me, a little bit more frequently, while I'm here. But anyways, that's exception to the rule. Uh,
There's always an exception to
but
the
we
rule.
we do all these things. We doom scroll. Yes, we say don't do it, but we also caveat that by sometimes you are gonna do it. Sometimes you need that laugh. I love looking at videos where like people get someone's trying to freak them out and they get scared or the doll's moving or just stupid stuff.
Oh yeah. Just maybe limit it.
Sometimes
Limit what you're
I'm
doing.
dying laughing. Okay, honestly, I just had this conversation with one of my clients. Our goal for the week was, let's put the phone down. Let's not look at our phone. No, no scrolling, because then you go down a rabbit hole. And that leads, like you said, to hours and hours. And then you start thinking, and now you're in your head, and now you done. You're not
Hmm.
sleeping. Now you're not waking up.
Hmm.
And now you're not following through with your goal of wanting to wake up early and go to the gym or go for a walk, right? And then that turns into being tired all day, and maybe now you don't feel yourself the way you would have. So it's a domino effect. So all of this is
Hmm.
connected, all of it. You can't do one
Hmm.
without doing the other. You can start by doing just one, but eventually you will be doing the other, right?
Hmm.
So,
Correct. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's a huge thing. Again, you and I are always going to advocate for do what works for you, and sometimes it might look like baby steps, and sometimes it might look like more. So it depends, but
And be okay with
yeah,
that.
yes,
Be
yes,
okay with that. Like like be empowered about that. Like I'm taking control because again, if you're recognizing it and wanting to take control of your life and you're starting with those quote unquote baby steps, you're part of the 1%,
yes,
because there's people who are like they think about it but they don't
yep,
do it. They know they need to do it but then they don't do it. But you're actually
yep,
trying. So applaud yourself, pat yourself on the back, give yourself some grace, and understand that you're a badass and you're going to keep going with this. And then it's going to eventually spiral into something bigger. And just be okay with that. Just understand like this is going to take time. I need what do you always say? You need those
yes.
reps. You need those
Practice and
reps under your
reps.
belt to get
Yep,
there. That's
yep.
it.
And you know what? Like, again, doing something is always better than doing nothing. Don't stay still. Don't stay
Yes.
still, figuratively and literally speaking. Don't stay still. I think I'm so
So this
cool.
leads us to the next
Yeah.
part, right? Of managing stress, because honestly, sleep will help you not manage your stress well, but also life circumstances and you not understanding how to, I guess, um, audit yourself, or how to, what's the word I'm looking for? Help me
Kind of
out
like
here. My words right now.
do a deep dive into really
Um,
questioning where you're at and what you need to do. And I don't know, like with, so for me, when I think about stress, I also equate that and kind of correlate it to, like there might be deeper things going on. And so if
uh-huh.
we don't get into that, like for me, I did end up seeing a counselor. I did do more of a deeper dive into the
Mm-hmm.
psychology of it all. And
Mm-hmm.
that helped me manage my stress because a part of it was, hey, like, so I'm a catastrophizer, or I used to be. See, I'm labeling myself, but I used to catastrophize everything. Like, what's the worst that can happen in a situation? What if, what if, what if, what if? Um, and something that my counselor said really hit home with me. And she's like, you know what? Like, it hasn't happened. And we see this, like, you think about the past, um, and you're going to have anxiety, or you think about the future and you're going to have anxiety. You think about the past and,
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of, air quotes, like feeling down or depressed. So live in the
Mm-hmm.
moment, just live in the moment, and whatever those, fears or anxieties or those things that you're always thinking about, just put them aside, give yourself a deadline, set a date, and then revisit those after. But don't let that affect what you're going to do today, because that's not going to help,
Correct.
right? And so for me, managing a lot of my stress was ideally just that. And then because that allowed me to do the things that I needed to do without having those things impact my daily decisions, which would basically mean that I wouldn't do them. So I
Right.
think a part of that really does play a role. Other things could be your schedule, over scheduling kids, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, why are your kids overscheduled? If you need the time, then, and if that's stressing you out, take a look at that, right? Really,
Mm-hmm.
audit is actually, I think, a really good term. You really do need to sit down
Yep.
and audit your time, because really stress and time, right? We complain about not having enough time. So, okay, let's figure out how to make time then. Where can we find spots to make time?
Make time, or where can we take things off of
Or
your
where,
plate?
exactly. So I don't know, does that help? Is there something else that, like, you feel like we could add to that?
No, that's awesome. It was honestly, it was I was trying to say self-regulating
Right.
also,
Yes.
because with that is protecting your peace.
Yeah.
Okay. I think a huge thing, because you went and sought out professional help, so did I, because I've had a lot of things where I'm just like, I've had to understand too, like the psychology of why do I react the way I
Yeah.
react? Why do I do the things I do? And a lot of that is because of my home environment, what I grew
Yeah.
up in. And so I've had to learn how to self regulate myself and how to really just protect my energy and my peace and understand what is worth me stressing out over, which typically is probably not a whole lot of stuff, because there's a lot of things that you have to understand that are not within your control. And so then it's up to you to figure out how can you manage that stress and audit
Yeah.
everything to figure out what is worth you putting your energy into.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge thing for people, because people are like, well, so and so was talking about me behind my back. Okay, cool. Talk about me behind my
Yeah.
back. I don't really
You do,
care, because
boo.
who are you
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, no, for sure.
There's people over there stressing over like the smallest things. And I get it. Like for you in that moment, it probably feels huge. But sometimes it just takes you taking a step back, self regulating yourself, and understanding like, is this something that's really that important to me? Is this something really worth me spiking my cortisol, getting stressed out
Yes.
about? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because half the time it's not worth it. And maybe that's just us being older and wiser. Because I do understand that the younger generation, they're like, because I see it with my 11-year-old stressing out about dumb stuff. And I'm like, hey, is it worth it? Because she's over there with her
Yeah.
face all scrunched up. And I'm like, listen, is that worth the lines on your
And
forehead?
you,
Who
yeah,
cares?
look, no. That's where I got them all from. I'm trying to show you guys. There we go. So, you speak about what you're basically saying is like, and this is such a huge topic too. Again, we won't get into too much detail about, co-regulation. So you're already doing that with your kids. I do that with my kids. We're co-regulating. And for me, that started with changing my parenting and understanding what self-regulation meant. I didn't realize how integral it was to my journey, my weight loss journey, until I was in it. It was very
Hmm.
unintentional in the beginning because I was doing it, more for my parenting style. and just with my kids and stuff. But wow, self-regulation, emotional regulation played a huge role in my transformation journey. And it's also like something that I just finished a mentorship with Jeb, as you know. That's what it's
Hmm.
all about. And well, not all, but a large part of it. So yeah, that's something definitely I would love to talk about on another podcast, though, for sure. Right.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
Um,
I'll write that down
you
after we
do
hang up with each
that.
other on our list of
And
topics.
I'm sure we're gonna miss something here, but of course, strength training at some point is again like something we want to add in and get
Mhm.
to at some point, right?
But let me
Yeah,
just quickly say this though, because strength training is
yeah,
important, but it's not okay. So if you don't want to be big toned and muscly, cool. You don't
yeah,
have to be, but you should still strength train because as we age, we're losing bone
yeah.
density and muscle mass. So if anything, do it to help preserve what you currently have and do it for that
Yeah,
because it is still important. Now, if you want to be able to be a crazy pants like me, where you want to be able to
I do,
be
I do.
big and muscly and be able to eat a whole bunch of food, um, muscle is the way to go. So that will be something that will be your long game, but in the short end of it, just have it be for preservation of muscle mass and bone density. And then if you want to go full send like I wanted to, then we can address that
Yeah,
later because it's again that's about specific goals. The main thing right now is we want you bought into the process. Just get in there, get under some load that's challenging for you because it doesn't have to look like any type of weight. What's going to be challenging for me is might not be challenging for somebody else and vice versa. So just get in there, do that, and you'll be fine.
yeah. And okay, fine. We joke about the pink weights, but the pink weights for somebody might be their challenge right in the beginning, but that won't last long.
Contextually,
But it won't last
yes.
long.
Contextually, yes, absolutely. But what bothers me is
Yeah,
the influencers who are telling these women that the 5 pounds for the overhead presses is going to get them that toned like cap sleeve.
that
Babies,
ain't gonna happen. No, no, no,
stop it.
no.
I'm like, stop it. Because again, like there's so much lack of
Yes,
context on Instagram, social media, and that's where I just get so disgruntled. I call it my disgruntled
I like that
squirrelness because
squirrelness.
I'm just like, stop
Yeah,
it. Because like we're stop lying to these people, and I think that that's why you and I really wanted to do this because we can't long format on
no,
Instagram and social media, but we can long form here and give more context because people are getting lied to, and it bothers me because there's so much good that can happen in the social media space, but people are still choosing slimy, terrible sales tactics and keeping these people
all right,
stuck. And it's time that we shift and band together to help these people get unstuck. Let's stop. Like you want to sit there and talk about what is it, the Maha movement and the obesity epidemic, but yet you're not doing anything to add to anything to help
all right.
people. You just want to sell your shit and then call it a day.
Yeah, and
And then you wonder why people don't believe in coaching because you sold them a fake ass
yeah,
dream. And now we're over here trying to tell people this is what it is and they're like, is that another fake ass dream?
no, we come at it reals. Okay, so for you, okay, I'm gonna speak for Carmi. She's in a season of life where, oh, this is what she wants, and she's putting all of her in it. Like she's putting the time, she's making the time. Um, and there's a season of life where for both of us that wasn't possible, but we were also doing the basics. Like I was doing one or two full body days a week when I first started, and that was enough for me. I found because I had to work within the parameters of my life. Now my season of life has changed. I can actually incorporate more. Now it was actually a question of did I want to, and I will admit, and I've talked to you about this. I just didn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like it. It's hard, and I didn't feel like it. Right? And then something just switched, and I'm like, no, this is what I want to do. This is what I want. I want to be like Carmi, all muscle mommy over there. And so, hey, she's inspiring, right? Like this is like I don't want to be like her, but of course, like I love what she's putting out there and what you're doing. And so now my season of life, allows for that. And also I'm choosing to, and so that's going to be the focus for me for now. But going back to what you
Right.
said, like it might just be one workout a week, one full body workout a week to start. That's okay. We'll get there. It's a long
Mm-hmm.
game. And this takes years. Like it takes
Yep.
years. She's been at it for years, and I look at some of my coach friends and just my friends in general. I'm like, girl, like you're a badass. And now I
Mm-hmm.
understand it doesn't take months. It takes years of
Yep.
dedicated consistency and hard ass effing work. But yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
appreciate that. Thank you. But you also though too having the
yes,
awareness to understand like, hey, I thought I wanted it, but you know what? It's just too much for me right now. It's not that it won't ever happen and I can't take it on later. It's just right now, it's not
yep,
important. I think the main thing was like, it's not that important for me right
yep.
now. And that's okay.
Yeah, like it's important, but not that important where I'm gonna go like 4 or 5 days a
Yes.
week. No, thank you.
Yeah. Like you're still doing your strength training, you're still meeting up with Andrew, you're still doing what you can at your house,
Yep.
but the goal is not very specific for you right now, and that's okay. Understand people like it's just about getting you feeling better.
Yeah.
If you don't have a specific goal, like you don't want to be a muscle mommy, you don't have to be a muscle mommy.
Yep.
Just do it for movement.
And you said you touched on this, like and I saw a post too a few days ago that I posted, but it's like, we can be inspired by other women. Like, how great is that? That doesn't mean that we have to compare ourselves to them. And choosing
Hmm.
and being okay with where you are doing it for yourself, again, like you said, is so empowering, and the power of choice. I just can't emphasize that enough. Finally coming to that point where it's like, wow, like for most things, like you can choose, right? And
Hmm.
so even if you're in kind of a situation where there's some emotional regulation that needs to happen, maybe there might be a point where, yeah, it's like it no longer becomes a choice, but we always come back from that. And then there's self-awareness, there's reflection. And then next time we have learned strategies or we have tools or skills to choose differently, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's okay. It's okay to be you,
Well,
do
that's great.
you do you, boo. That's what I'll say.
Right? You do you, boo. Make it work for you. Figure out what it is that you want. Make it specific to you. Don't compare your journey to my journey. Don't compare your journey to Dallas' journey. It's all different because at the end of the day, you also don't understand because you're not in our shoes. You don't know what we're
Yeah,
dealing with in that
yeah,
moment. So you may think that on Instagram in that moment, like, oh my gosh, she's got it all together. Let me tell you, my shit be a shit show sometimes over here,
yeah,
okay? And I'm just doing the best I can.
yes.
Ultimately, just do the best you can.
So,
Show up with whatever it is you can show up with.
exactly. So, to end it on this note, master the basics consistently over time.
Yep.
All right.
And if you want some help, reach out to us. We're more than happy to help
All
you
right. You can
guys.
find me at Nutrition Coaching by Dow on Instagram. How about you, Carby?
You guys can find me at carmhawk_gets fit. And we're always there.
Yeah. And if you found this, honestly, if you found this podcast helpful, fun, please share it. Like, share it with your friends, share it on your stories. Yeah, we're just out here trying to spread the good word.
All right,
Okay.
guys. We'll see
All
ya.
right.
Till next time.
Bye.